Hello and welcome to this section. In this section, we will learn the Excel table widget, and the following knowledge points are mainly included in this section. First of all, we will briefly introduce table widget. Then we will talk about the use scenarios of table widget. Finally, we will explain the basic use of table widget with a small application. First of all, we come to the first point. Let's introduce our table widget. Table widget is a special data widget in our HiCode. It can't store any data by itself. Its main function is to realize the Excel file and the object array in HiCode. The transformation between two-dimensional arrays can be realized by calling the method of Excel widget to upload Excel files and parse them into an object array or an array. The object array or two-dimensional array in the front end can also be exported into the point inserting LX, which is the Excel file format of our table. Generally speaking, for the SQ widget in our HiCode, we will export the Excel file of the array, import the Excel file as the array format, import the Excel file into the table, export the table to the Excel file, import the Excel file as the object, obtain the data in the format, update the data, and export the Excel file. As we have known from the introduction just now, generally speaking, our Excel widget has such two functions. The first is to import our Excel data into our HiCode for use. The second point is to export the data in our HiCode to our Excel table, so our Excel widget usually conducts a demonstration around these two functions. Let's open our editor to give a brief introduction to our Excel widget. Here we create a new application name called Excel Table, and then click our Create button. First, we form a good habit. We add a page in the front end, and then we add our Excel table at the bottom of the page. Where is the Excel table? Just below us, an uppercase X is written here. Does it just correspond to us? An icon such as Excel is our Excel table. We can add it to one of our pages by clicking. Through the introduction just now, we know that our two strongest functions are to import Excel data into HiCode for one use, and to export the data in HiCode into Excel tables, so we will respectively demonstrate the use of these two functions. First of all, the first point is to import Excel data into our HiCode for use. Since we want to use it, we need to install data. What do we want to add? Is it necessary to add a data widget for us? And then through the previous study, we know that our object array is much larger than our two-dimensional array, so here, we click to add an object array for us, and then we add a button to make a call here. The feature of this button is our import. When I click this button, I will call a widget feature such as our Excel table. You can see that there are a series of features in the drop-down menu. Here we will directly select the most commonly used import Excel file as the array format. When we click this button, it will tell us to select the corresponding. If we don't select a path here, it will automatically call such an interface for uploading one of our files. Then in the import format, we can select our object array or our two-dimensional array. Here we can directly select our object array. Then, when it is passed in, we select a callback here. We won't demonstrate the callback here. When it is completed, what do we do for such an object array? An assignment is made. Why do we select the result array in the drop-down menu? You can see that there are a lot of contents for us to choose from. First, its title bar contains a data of a title group composed of all columns in the first row of the Excel file we uploaded. Next, we upload an array, and then the second is the array or an array value after we upload the Excel file and convert it into the corresponding format. Next, there is a serial number of our form and the name of our form. What we need, we make a selection in this association parameter. In this case, the value of the object array that it needs to assign is obviously an array value on our side. When it is finished, we let it print a value of our object array. This way, we choose to print its current value, and then we directly carry out a preview. In the same way, we click to check, and then we turn on control here. I prepared a table that we exported through our object array export function before. It contains a series of fields such as a name, an age, an enrollment time, and a photo that it corresponds to. It is a file folder of export 7. Then I will make an import here. When I import at the top level, I import such a function into the export. You can see that here, I can get a name corresponding to it equal to 3 pieces, and the age equal to our 20. Then the photo is an address like ours, and the enrollment time equal to whether we are completely consistent with the corresponding content of our site by 2018. We import it into our object array, and then we can directly use a series of functions of the object array to carry out a series of processing on such a series of data. So we import a table and carry out a data processing in our high code, which is a very common scenario. Then again, if I have processed all the data and installed it in an object array, how can I export such an object array? Here we go to open the new application in the object array before us, and we go to make a tolerant copy of such a combined value. When this button is clicked, what do we choose here? Or select our Excel table. In our drop-down menu, you can see that there is an export array here as a function of Excel file. Let's choose to export an array to an Excel file, and then let's choose an exported array here. Here we will specify an array exported from our side. When it is finished, we can make a debugging record according to the application system, which is a value of the returned result. This is a result of its export. Then we also click a reading here. Here we click such an export feature, and we can see that it directly triggers a feature that we download, and then we download it directly. We can open it here to see if the contents in such a table are exactly the same as those in our export. Of course, we can notice that here is a URL address. What if you don't want a URL address? You can see. We also have a function of whether to download pictures in the private widget. If you check such a function of whether to download pictures, what will happen to it? It will automatically download a picture that is originally a URL address. It will help us directly convert it into a picture. Similarly, it corresponds to a name of a file we export, the row height of its title bar, the row height of its content bar, and a beautiful width. We can edit it here. It is very easy to set column property, so we won't do a demonstration here. We see that we do a preview here. Here we only select an export. At the same time, we can see that just now, after I checked the function of downloading pictures, he automatically helped us to download a series of pictures. Then, this is Excel. The table uses the most functions, so we know through the content of this section. Generally speaking, how do we process data? We process data through a series of actions of our object array. So what if we have a ready-made table, and we have to deal with its data? We will first import the table widget into our object array through the import function of the table component to carry out a series of data processing. After we have processed the data into a standard format, we call the export function of our Excel table to download a result after it is exported. Then this is also a function that we will use in our business reports, or a series of private related application. Of course, with the deepening of our study, more functions in the Excel table will be discovered by us, and we will not conduct too many demonstrations here. The above is the whole content of this section. Thank you for watching.